Hey there, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project. And whoo, have I had I'd say a month of clearing, like global clearing, energetic clearing, planetary clearing, human being clearing, water clearing. Everything on this planet has been going through a big shakedown. And it started, it was pretty intense. Like I just felt like depressed and suicidal and for exhausted for like 3 weeks. And sometimes it's just hard. I just have to hold on and work the process because otherwise the stuff isn't going to get cleared. And, there has to be on the acupuncture needle, right? On the point. And it's got to vibrate and move around. And I hate these, new age, I guess, people who are like, put protection up. It's like, so what, you can protect yourself against what is? So how are you going to shift what is? Or give it the possibility to become something else? You've got to take the weight off. You've got to remove the elephant out of the room. And I mean, just think about that. Think about what, you got an elephant stuck in a house. You can't get it out through the windows and doors. How are you going to get rid of it in the best possible way? I mean, you can go totally bonkers and, saw the thing up and, try to carry it out in bags and discard it, or you can shift it into another type of energy, like a shamanism thing, and then, turn it into a bird, open the window, and then allow the bird to fly out into a totally different transformed energy. And so it takes the person who's doing this kind of work, who are bridging multiple worlds also while it's happening. We can get violently ill, sometimes die. That's why I tell people, be really careful about going to some of these shamanism stuff like ayahuasca, DMT, because if you're not doing it properly, it can be super dangerous and super, super harmful. It can fracture you in ways you will never get back. And you think your life is hell on earth now. Yeah, it'll be a whole other ball game. So, you want to take these practices and calmly and do them over a practice of a lifetime and do them for the right reasons and try to stay away. So anyway, Friday hit, and Friday, I started just radiating inflammatory pain from my big joints, just all over my whole body. And I just was exhausted and I felt like the flu. I felt like vomiting. So Friday was terrible. I literally would just have to lay down. It would hit me so bad. And I just would have to lay down for wherever on the floor. Didn't even matter. And then Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What's today? Today's Tuesday. So today, finally, I'm coming out of it, and I can see the progression of it over a month. It was intense. It's been an intense month on me of this really intense clearing that's been going on. So I'm really grateful. I'm kind of on the other side right now. It was intense. Even for me, it was intense. So, all right. People always talk about outcomes, what can I expect from you doing this work? What can I expect from a session? Well, I don't know. I think it's you have the elephant in the room, and then the elephant's transformed into a different kind of energy. Sometimes it doesn't happen all of a sudden, and then, the window is open and the bird flies free, And so you can't really have expectations of where this work is going to take you or where it's going to lead you or what it's going to give you. I mean, that's manipulation. You're doing certain kinds of healing work to have something, get your right and perfect mate, have a 2.5 family with a white picket fence, or whatever the hell it's going to be. I would put that up to like shamanism, health and well-being. It's like ridiculous. The thing is that the important part is that the energy is transformed. It's transmuted and it's transformed into a different structure, whatever that structure is going to be. So you get something else to work with. So before, you keep working with this elephant in the room and you just keep moving it around, and I'm going to put it over in this corner. Now I'm going to shove it over into this corner. Meanwhile, the energy's not happy because you don't have all the money and the food to feed the elephant, and the elephant's pooping all over your floor, and the elephant is being crushed down, and the stress of an elephant living inside a small building, the stress on the elephant, which is whatever the issues are, the emotions are, where they're inherent. If they've become hereditary or not, if you're dealing with hereditary issues, which most of us are, and then just all of it, and constantly the stress and worry about dealing with the outside world and trying to hide your elephant and try to stuff it into a closet and trying to make look that there's no elephant anywhere. The whole thing around it, in it, is stressful. So the thing is like, when you go through a big healing, I used to be really asking a lot of the beings, that take care of me and work on me, and also people and shamans that are in the dreaming worlds. And it took me a long time to let go of that mind, the left hemisphere, the details. They got really tired of me, asking a lot of those kinds of questions, because what determines it is what you do with it, right? Once the moment that it's changed and been transformed. And the good part about this is, like Albert Einstein, I guess, has a quote, says, keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, this is what happens, is you get a new result because the energy has been transformed. It's been changed. So you get an opportunity to deal with something you haven't dealt with before and turn it into something else, right? But it's interesting because people will get like a gift like this and then still try to go after the same kind of life that they were going after, 2.5 kids, white picket fence, the right husband, the right wife, the right job, instead of the focus on watching whatever energy that you've now been given. Like, think about how different that would be. You've got an elephant, and then now you have a hawk. I mean, just think about the two different ideas of like a physical manifestation of that kind of energy. So, hawk, you can do more work with. You can oversee things. You can, tune in, fine tune, or you can see bigger perceptions. You can go to places that most don't go. You can feel what a cloud feels like. You can feel what the air feels like. You can feel what it's like to surf the sky beings and the cloud nations, and you get to have a bigger relationship with them. So your whole perspective would change. What it's like to jump off a cliff and go, 100 miles an hour. I mean, I look at the falcon, the fastest bird in the world. It's like this big. It can go up to 250 miles an hour. That is a massive, huge, massive change in perception because the energy is in that direction, right? versus an elephant, which is going to stay in the same area. And maybe the elephant helped you with your relationships. You know, the elephant's very relationship oriented. I'm just saying, you're going to go from very kind of dense energy to maybe some other kind of energy. And then sometimes it'll shift into, like, say, you know, and I'm not trying to make totem animals here right now. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a physical idea of energy and the shifts in energy that can occur. And so we have to be the vessel for that energy. And also, if we're not prepared for that energy, we're not going to utilize it very well. And if we have a direction, we're manipulative and controlling by nature because we want what we want no matter what. The energy is never going to be able to really transform us or utilize us as a vessel. And so say the more streamlined energy you start interacting with or working with can, you know, work destructively as well. So that's why I tell people, you know, I don't know how many years now, let's see, 25 years ago, I studied with a Lakota Sioux medicine woman doing DNA activations. I mean, this is like way long before anybody was doing any of this kind of work. And also, you know, healing sessions and cured people of cancer, you know, like all kinds of stuff. But then, you know, I would do them periodically. You know, people will come to see me because I kind of had to keep a low profile here in Nevada. I mean, I've always been known as Duty. Yeah, go see the shaman. She's like, you know her. Kind of a thing, right? So, but I don't do that. I don't do certain kinds of work anymore because I started to realize, like, people were getting sick. People were having health issues because I was changing, you know, things in their energy field. And they weren't willing to just be an open vessel to see where that energy may lead and take them. You know, they wanted to be able to use that healing or shift or energy change to conjure, you know, the right husband or the right wife, or conjure money, or manipulate, you know, someone in their family, or this, that, or the other. You know, we start manipulating energies. You know, we have to be really prepared for the consequences of that, because it could really cause some serious problems in our life and our health. And, you know, I'm watching this. I have a TV for a few weeks, and I was watching this show called 11/22/63. I think it's a Stephen King mini series or something like that, and it's based on this porthole, and it goes back to the same day and time, and it's really interesting because early on, you know, it's exposed that you can't go against the history. You can't go against, because, you know, really violent things can happen to you if you are trying to change history in any way, even if it's good-hearted and stuff. So, but that's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like healing work and shamanism and stuff like that. So we have to let go of our expectations of where we want that energy to go. Like, you know, would I like to have spent this last month, you know, doing what I want to do, being, having a life? I totally would have, but that's not my life. And I know that, you know, I've been celibate like 17 years now, and single, and that's my choice, because I don't think that until I come across a partner that I think could be okay with how my life is, that I'm more of a vessel being used to help, you know, all my relations. You know, I can't really have a relationship because it's not going to work out. Like, I'm not going to be able to give that person what they need on a daily basis. because I'm not living in a fictional world. I'm living in a multi-dimensional world, and it can be really tough on my dog. She's learned to adapt. So when we go do ceremony, I call her the, fire woman medicine dog, because she'll get right into those ceremonies. She'll protect the fire. She will, whatever needs to happen. So she's adapted herself. And like I do healing work on people, she's there also helping work. She's helping to shift the energy, and she's helping and assisting me. And so she's kind of adapted herself. But there are periods where, we're being attacked by, let's just say, government, UFO type extraterrestrial experiences, things like that. She doesn't do okay with it. But I have to, we just work together, whatever it is. And when Spirit says, okay, you better start packing up, you're going to be leaving here in a few, and I used to be like, well, where am I going? What should I pack up? Now I'm just like, let's see, what could I possibly need back up into storage? I've got everything organized. I'm like, okay, this time of year, I'm going to need this, and this. I might need something to cook on, I may need, an ice chest. I may need, my shaman gear, my medicines. I don't know. I may need my gardening tools. I may be getting to go somewhere where I can do some farming. And sometimes, like I need to strap on my horse steps, because, I have these big steps that I use to work on traumatized horses. So if they kick or whatever, they're big foam steps. I can step on them and work on their back, and I get above them. But also I can use these steps as, directing. So in case the horse is going to kick me or lift up back and kick me or kick me from the side, I can use these blocks to block those kicks. Because, the horse is not feeling good. It's not okay. So the horse is going to act out a little bit. I don't take it personally. So I might need those. So I might have to strap those on. So sometimes it can be, difficult to figure out where I'm headed or where I'm going. And I've just learned I've learned to focus in on that moment, what I may need, how I need to prepare. And if I'm in a state of, resistance, like I don't really want to right now, I need more rest, or I need some quiet, but Spirit is saying, Creator's saying, no, you got to go. So I focus in on that. Instead of where am I going, who, it's been hard to let go of a lot of the programming of what our life is supposed to look like. Right? Because that's not my life. Life has never been that way. It's a fiction and a fabrication. And you know what? I'm really glad when people have that kind of life and it suits them, right? But that's not my life. So I have to really stop being manipulative and controlling and doing things only to get something. But to do them because I'm a vessel and I'm the acupuncture needle being placed on the meridian points, the ley lines, the galactic points of the earth, and being moved around. And it hasn't been easy. It definitely hasn't been easy being a woman and doing this kind of work. And a lot of my training has been by, medicine men and shamanic men, which is okay. I'm kind of more, I think I'm more intense than I am soft. So anyway, that is kind of about what that is going on with the energy right now. And and that's it. And so we're finally through something big, really big. I felt the last stuff move through my abdominal region this morning. And I laid in bed an extra 2 hours so that it could not only move through, but it could readjust some stuff that I've been having off and on for a while in my spine. So now I think we're through the other side. And I think that there's probably going to be some more kind of intense energy. But I think that now there's going to be like waves, periodic waves of, gosh, I hate to use words like, peace or whatever, or calm or things like that, but just kind of more of a, like a deep, kind of a wave. And I don't mean that in a sexual way either, but kind of just a really deep, kind of a feeling. So we're going to have some waves like that until the next eclipse. But anyway, just an energy update of what's going on. And we cleared some just unbelievable amounts of not just fear, but not just terrified fear, but just, being able to step away from, what will those people think? What will they do to me? That I'll be inflicted with some kind of harm, or, if I step out of this energy box that I'm in. It's more like that. It was subtle, but because there are so many people that were stuck there, and their animals that they have in their house, their yards, some of the trees were taking on a lot of this, energy. So that stuff just kind of had to be released. What was hidden, what we were hiding from ourselves, and what was there based on patterning or experience or hereditary. And so you should have some waves of awe. Make sure you spend those periods like reflecting and being out in nature and eating good food, and really take it as a time to stop the crazy life and go really enjoy it, be in the moment of it, because it's probably going to feel pretty good. All right, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious of Economics and Urban Farm Project. Sorry, I'm just itchy today because it's, sometimes it can be like just electrical charge, or I just feel like all my meridians are kind of activating, like I feel itchy here, and I've got some over here, and it's going down through my head. So it means that we're in the final stages of clearing that month-long, or I'm in the final stages of clearing that month-long energy. So anyway, that's it. Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Conscious Economics and Urban Farm Project, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.